Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here with week 30 of the H.A.M Radio Podcast.
My name is Noah. I did not know it was week 30. Nice round number, divisible by 10, 5, and 2. Probably something else. Also, and 3. I recently drove my Arc over 2 nails and now have to get the tires replaced. All of them, not just one. So that's unfortunate.
We have 2 special guests with us this week.
What's up, everybody? It's YongYea, and welcome to H.A.M Radio Podcast. Thank you guys for inviting me over. Heard a lot of interesting stuff from Noah just now, so thanks for sharing that with us.
You probably won't hear any more.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, super happy to be here, and thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
And I am Vault Overseer, but you guys can call me Mark. I'm doing animations and stuff. 1 week, every animation for a week until the release of Fallout. So yeah, check out my channel and stuff.
Yeah,
been trying it for a couple of weeks, but
Is
here I
that
am.
For the animation? Or are they all just kind of whatever you're feeling that day?
Just whatever I'm feeling. So it's like Fallout stuff, you know.
Cool.
You know, kind of got killed by Bethesda's recent output. That was pretty badass. But it's there.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, for those who, by the way, don't know what I do, I am the guy who runs YouTube channel YongYea, and I cover a lot of Metal Gear, but I also like to cover Fallout for those who want to check that out. So yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Everyone will be linked down below as usual. Twitters, YouTube channels, and everything. Give them a look, definitely. Following those links are links to our t-shirts and our Sugar Bomb website, English breakdown, as well as
Jesus Christ. Let's just restart completely. No, I'm just kidding.
as well as timestamps. And for you guys to join us on this podcast, we like to ask you a question. You can tweet at any of the handles on screen with your answer. What games are you going to play between now and the launch of Fallout 4? I'm really curious on the answer to that. Also, I want to explain one thing. Everyone was wondering where I was last week because it was the first episode I missed in 29 or 30 total episodes. And I was at my first game for the hockey season. And I thought Lone was going to say that. I told him, but everyone thought I just dropped off the face of the planet and let him run the podcast. And, like, all of a sudden, I was not pulling my weight. Like, people hated me. It was pretty
Such a shame on you, Matt, to miss podcasts. Honestly, do you know how irresponsible it is for you to miss episodes? God.
It was a good episode, though, even though I got roasted on my own podcast by Lone and Rachel and Nova. Dicks. Anyways, let's move on to the Bethesda news roundup. We got an interesting batch this week, although a small one at that. So let's start off with the most obvious news this week. The Fallout 4 special video series continued, and they dropped the Perception video this week. What do we think about this one?
It's magical.
It is neat. It's nice, it's nostalgic, and it's marketing at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, it's so freaking creative, and I did notice that each of the videos have like sections cut out, and I wonder what that's all about. Is there anything spoilery in there? Because you know, like towards the end, it like skips or something, and like parts of the film has been cut out or something like that. So that was kind of interesting.
I think they're perks because I remember on my Twitter someone sent me a screenshot of a frame freeze, and like when the reel, I guess you could call it, kind of like glitched. Mm-hmm. Someone like framed it at literally the perfect spot, and it says perks. And so, yeah, and then after that, you see those perk icons filter under, like when they pan out of the pamphlet itself. Mm-hmm. So I believe they're perks, and you know you can see them right there, clear as day. So
cool.
It's
That's
really
very cool.
Yeah,
I think so. You'll probably find, I guess the tapes or whatever that you put in the Pip-Boy to play these, or and in the game they'll tell you all the perks. I guess that's how it's gonna work. I'm not really sure.
It could. I thought they'd be in the game collectible as well, like because they glitch out at the end, so it'd be kind of cool to find like the full video.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree completely.
To me pretty consistently, actually, throughout the whole thing, they seem to be animating everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at, for example, on the Pip-Boy, when you look at your agility, he's actually moving about. So it would make sense if it was just all together now. They've animated all their instructions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like
that
a
makes
GIF.
sense.
I want to point out a suggestion that Lone made last week that I do not want to go unheard, because he mentioned it pretty deep in last week's podcast. He said while watching these special videos, he thought to himself that they should make a Vault Boy cartoon.
Dude,
that would be fantastic.
When you see these videos, like you like, and right when Lone said that, I'm like, oh my god, like that's such a good fit because he's such like a bright face in this like abysmal situation that.
I feel like it'd be like a great Adult Swim kind of thing. I don't know.
Yes, right after Rick and Morty.
It'd be pretty hilarious on like
exactly.
kids channel though. Kids all applying these rules.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Bethesda, get on it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Absolutely, that and the Coca-Cola crosses Nuka-Cola promo. Like these are two things.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Wow, look at him just running away from this podcast. Girl comes over his house and he's out. So we learned about perception a little bit. We learned that it affects our overall. Actually, I don't know if it does affect our overall accuracy, but I know it affects our accuracy in VATS. It seems to have kind of taken a step back to the old school Fallouts in a sense where it's more about gunplay and everything, because in Fallout 3 New Vegas it was kind of rendered useless because it was all about the compass, and that didn't make like a huge difference on whether or not you'd survive in a battle, whereas this, that's accuracy is always crucial, especially now where it slows down time, where you have to really pick shots quickly, considering it just doesn't freeze things down.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like it's more involved.
Yeah.
In general, the stats seem to have like a kind of interplay. Like it's not just strength means you carry more. It seems to be like endurance is part of how much you can carry now as well. Which I think we'll probably see. Like perception might actually come into things like repair. It's like, can you see how to fix these problems?
I never thought of that. Wow. Because also like it could be strength out of all things. And I know that sounds weird, but you remember at the end of the strength video, they had that thing where they said create unique and special armor, and like you see him building things and creating things, and
for sure.
And that's why people are so confused.
On Sugar Bomb, actually, there was an article. Someone was talking about that they didn't understand why strength was important, and I was like, well, if you're a blacksmith and you can't bend the metal, then you're pretty much screwed, man.
Yeah, with the removal of like skills, I suppose, special will probably have a much overarching role in the character development. And skills has been removed, right? Just to be sure.
Yeah, it's basically it's in the game. It's been rolled, like medicine's still there, science is still there, but it's been rolled into perks basically.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, perks and special are basically the main components of character development. So yeah, I think special will definitely have, like Marcus suggested, like a much more overarching role in the actions that you do. And it's an interesting move by Bethesda. I think I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because I know that probably is something that some people are worried about. Like they liked the skills from the old games, and now it's just completely different.
Well, that's the thing, is that some people were concerned, but like at the same point, until they put up this idea, I kind of thought to myself how basic Fallout's leveling system was, in a sense where you didn't really see a difference when you started pumping points into skills, unless it was something like lockpick, where you'd see you can easily pick a lock. I guess people can make arguments for other skills as well, but you didn't really see that difference. But with perks, you get that instant difference because you're selecting something that's going to probably give you like a percentage increase in weapon damage if you pick Bloody Mess, for example.
Right.
And so I think that instant gratification is going to be good for the leveling system, because it'll feel like every time you level up, and since that leveling up is endless, you're constantly getting rewarded. Whereas, for Fallout 3 New Vegas, that leveling system ended. It wouldn't have worked in Fallout 4, where the leveling system would have had to end at some point, because you would have just kept dumping skill points in, and it just would you would have like 200 science, and it'd be like, well, what the hell is that going to get me? It stopped helping me around like 100. So I like the new system a lot personally. The perk system, people argue, could be casual because it's a lot like Skyrim in a sense.
Yeah, it is.
I think that casual is good in the sense where it makes it more accessible. But you know what? It still is a better, well-rounded system, more well-rounded system rather than I think the older ones are.
I'd like to think of it as intuitive rather than intuitive means like it's simpler but still complex, rather than just complex and you have to like wrap your head around it. If you can like understand exactly how this works but have like a complex system that evolves naturally and still make it like simple to understand, that's intuitive, and I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I actually welcome that. So that's the feeling that I get with this new Fallout 4 system. And I guess for me, a lot of it will depend on the perks, what the actual perks are, which we have seen very little of. But Fallout 3, I mean, that had some great perks. And I know, I trust Bethesda. I don't think they'll fuck it up or anything. I think we'll see some.
I think that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? That we know that there's a reason for them doing it, and there seems to be. It all refers back to they're trying to make this world more believable, and I think that makes sense to me from a standpoint of, well, no one would really come out knowing how to, because I've got science, I know how to work all this technology that I've never seen before in my life,
So yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense that they would just come out and people would be, if they were smart enough, as opposed to I do science,
Exactly.
It makes sense to me. It means it feels like they're building the world better. Like this character fits in better to their world.
It also just fits the Vault Blaze aesthetic more. You get more of that perk chart, that cute little animations and stuff. It brings it alive in another way.
I feel bad because I was gone for a little and I don't know exactly what's going on. It was out of my control. I had to genuinely legal matters.
You're good.
But
I've been gone for years, Noah.
I've been gone for years. I didn't mean to say it in an accent. I apologize if that was derivative.
Deeply offended.
Yeah.
Regardless, that's our thoughts on the special system, the perception video. We learned a little bit about how it affects your lockpicking, your overall VATS accuracy. I'm sure we'll learn more down the road. Our next news bit is that we may not see more Fallout 4 gameplay until launch. Josh Hamrick, senior designer at Bethesda Game Studios, formerly at Bungie, responded to a tweet from a friend of mine, Monty, funny enough, in which he was actually complaining that Bethesda was not showing the game, because Josh tweeted saying, hey, the team swung for the fences with Fallout 4, you're going to be really impressed. And Monty was like, well, I wish we could see the game, we believe you, but we want to see it. And so, he was complaining about not seeing much since E3. And Josh responded saying that it'd be better that Bethesda does it this way because it's now our experience to enjoy.
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like once it's out and once we have our hands on it for the first time and we're not seeing this 45-minute long the first 45 minutes of Fallout 4. It's this holy shit, you're freaking out kind of thing. That was how Skyrim was like for me, because Matt had to convince me to get Skyrim while I was dying of laryngitis, and so I got it, and I didn't know Matt, you can vouch for that. I didn't pay
I just told him, I said it's so good, because he
hated
the idea of it.
Skyrim?
I was blown away, and I think that's kind of what they're going for us to be, is we don't know what this, we know the general aspects to expect, but what it's fully going to be is going to be crazy.
I guess I can see both standpoints from that, actually, because on one hand, that's quite a lot of what they've showed us already. They've shown us the vault leaving sequence, which I would argue is probably one of the most iconic things about a Fallout game. Yeah. You leave the vault. Yeah. But then at the same point, there's going to be over 400 hours of gameplay. So what is 45 minutes of
That's 100 hours for the past games.
Yeah.
That was
just, you can
it's a double-edged sword. But I think Fallout 4 is just so... people are so hyped for it that Bethesda really doesn't need to do much. Their trailer alone received 20 million views or something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And in my experience with Metal Gear, for example, I think they showed too much. And it did kind of dilute some of the wow moments of the game. Yeah, the wow factor and stuff like that. So I think, and Fallout 4, from what I've heard, it's going to be this emotional story. Story's really emphasized here. And they really, really want to keep their cards close to their chests, it seems. And so I'm really excited to find out what that's all about, and I think it'll make for an overall better experience. But yeah, the wait is just excruciating. You do want, I want to get a taste of it, but I think it is for the better in the long run. But it's painful as hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for you and I have a unique scenario where we run channels off this stuff, so
exactly.
When there's nothing to talk about, we're like, well, fuck.
God damn it, yeah.
But regardless, I agree. I think it's better for the overall experience, although it sucks. That seems to be the general consensus. I'm glad, though, that the community itself seems to agree to this. That I'm really happy to not see this uproar, where the hell's the gameplay?
Yeah,
where's the marketing?
We have a right to see it. It's already been announced. We got a little good, taste of it, some screenshots. Now we wait. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm looking at. I don't want to be thrown at with like hour-long gameplay. I want to be really surprised as to how this game is going to play. I like looking at the screenshots with the, you know, the HUD up and like, oh, I bet, you know, what is that? You know what I mean? And like kind of looking at it with this excitement. Brings me back to when I was 11.
Yeah, I think Bethesda did a really good job unveiling the game, where they show just enough where people won't get with pitchforks and shit and demand gameplay. I think they showed just the right amount with the customization and stuff like that, while not showing enough that people will still be excited for the game. The E3 presentation in particular was just excellent. Todd Howard, just like Bethesda in general, just nailed that so hard.
I remember watching that video. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and just the trailer and the build up to the gameplay presentation, and I don't know, it was great. And for me, I am satisfied with that. Although, again, the wait is still painful, but I'd be satisfied with not getting gameplay until launch, so I can experience it for myself.
Yeah. Definitely. Would you guys say that maybe it's partly to do with other developers, the way that they release games? They kind of blow their wad like right away and like tell you exactly how the story is going to go. We don't really know. What this is of your character in this wasteland. Like they're just, you can speculate. They're looking for their family. They're looking for a purpose, but like really, you don't know. They're not there to save the war. They're not there to, save their vault. Like we don't know anything, and but we know so much about the gameplay, which is probably more important actually.
Yeah. We don't know even like what the conflict is. Like, yeah, obviously there's, a giant nuke went off and whatnot, but like what is the goal for the protagonist? What's his end game? Like that we still like just don't have a clue.
My educated guess, which I think is, I'm not just saying this, but I think it's spot on, is that it's definitely got to deal with at first the family, because he comes out of the vault, he talks to Codsworth, and he's already talking about so other people could be alive. So clearly he thinks if he survived, like I think it's going to start off like looking for his family.
Yeah.
I think like something will go down and he'll have to, like let's say like the wife dies or something happens to the son, and like it'll be this kind of, in a sense, emotional revenge quest. Depending if they play their cards right, it could be a unique revenge quest because Fallout's a unique universe with unique factions and weapons and all that stuff, so it could be very different if they do it correctly, which I'm assuming they will. But I think they're going to start off with an emotional hook, because a lot of times Bethesda games, they don't really, I don't want to say they don't care about the story, but the fun in the game comes with the freedom and exploration, where I think they're going to try to hook you in right away and make you wonder like, where's the wife, where's the kid, and make that be a chasing factor until you find out what happened to them early in the story, and then from there it's a revenge quest, or it's a you kind of pick your paths, because they talked about branching storylines, which is another thing, so there's going to be a lot to it. I feel I really trust that they, there's a reason they're holding, they're really hammering away at this. And Yong, you interviewed Brian and Courtney, got their names mixed up.
That's their official double name.
Yes.
Holy crap, I've never done that before. But yeah, you interviewed them. Good. I interviewed them. I believe you had Cal on at one point. We've talked to these people, and they always hammer away at how emotional it's going to be, that like they got choked up reading these lines. They could see the emotion in it all. I think like Cal told us on our interview, he said there are times where, you're just going to feel so many things at once that you might like have a tear in your eye or something. So, to say things like that, I feel is so bold, that I feel like story is going to play such a big part that's why Bethesda's like, it's yours to enjoy. And it's such a rare case where, we're not talking about a game hypes people up, because they're like, what's going on, man? Like, because they showed enough at E3 where it could sell the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, a brand new Fallout fan comes in, they see this game, they see the features, like, oh shit, I will definitely buy that. These are enough features. And then you buy the game, you learn about the new repair system, you learn about the new leveling system, you learn about what this good story is, you learn about all these companions, what you can do with these companions.
Right.
Is there a hardcore mode? Like that'd be a pleasant surprise to start this game and learn about a hardcore mode that Bethesda didn't talk about at all. Like stuff like that, I think is really gonna improve that first experience when you hop into this game.
Right.
Yeah, that's important.
Absolutely. I feel like I rambled there. I'm sorry. If anyone else would like to go.
Story-wise, I am hoping that we'll see the child grown up. Like in Fallout 3, this is something I mentioned in my Brian and Courtney interview, and I wanted I told them this theory just to see like their looks on their face, see if I can get anything out of them. I didn't. Not very successful. My speech level was very low. But so my theory is that we will see the child after the Great War, like grown up or something. And in Fallout 3, you are the child, and the father, like his appearance sort of changes a bit based on how you customize your avatar, your character. And I think in Fallout 4, maybe the reverse will happen, where the child grown up will sort of be a mash of how you customize the wife and the husband, and you'll meet.
That would be kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how cool would that be? You meet this child, and I feel like the child is key. I don't know. I don't think they'll just shove a baby in there for no reason, just to be like, look, cool guys, it's a baby. We can do that in this new engine. I don't think that's the whole point of that. I think there's more to it.
And they also say that the baby is like a combination of the two in the E3 stuff. So that I think that is a definite giveaway that it's going to be seen later in the game.
They had to have intentionally said that, like, let us know, like, it's not just there, like kind of like we all just said here. Like, what's the point of saying, oh yeah, and the way you customize the husband and wife, you make a baby out of that. Okay, that's cool. So then it would be awesome to see it as a baby, which you clearly do in the prologue, and then see it as it's grown up.
Yeah, how cool would that be?
That'd be amazing. And like, they could do so many things with that opportunity. Like, that already makes the story unique from that perspective, that you can, go in cryo sleep and like wake up, and like your child could have waken up before you and end up being older than you.
Right. Man, some interstellar stuff going on in there.
Yeah, right.
That's a good idea. That's cool.
So it's
your child is a old man.
Yeah.
Just better not be the bad guy. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get there and it turns out your kid's evil and you've got to do that.
Exactly. Like that's kind of like a cliche. I feel like that would be the easy choice, which even if Bethesda took it, they did it right, would still be good in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty cool, like, when you think about the exact opposite of, like, what would really shock people. I would be shocked if the wife was still alive and the kid was dead.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be depressing.
No, I'm sorry. I said this. I was asked this question on my live stream, and I almost definitely think the wife has to be dead. If the wife is playable, it is no shock that she's dead.
Or depending on who you choose, the opposite spouse is dead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, we're
Even if you choose the wife, you're dead.
Let's just upset more people, Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
No, what's funny is people actually I made a video on that, and I intentionally mentioned that, like, vice versa, and like people didn't hear that part and like got mad thinking I was like sexist or something. I was like, no, I'm saying if you play as the wife, the husband's dead. Like,
there's the right choice, guys. If you play the female, the game just ends. You die.
Yeah. You win. You get all the achievements. The game ends. It's great.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess a thing kind of related to that is, how we're talking about the baby being important because it's made quite a big deal of. Mm-hmm. I think it's a bit kind of weird that this is something that I've noticed, actually. They put such an effort in recreating this previous world, and there's also the memory den. Do you guys think that we will visit many of our memories?
Part of me hopes they do it, but not in the overkill fashion where it's like, find some evidence, go back to the memory den. Find some evidence, go back to the memory den. Like,
I know where the guns are!
Yeah, exactly. Like, I hope that it's like a unique story piece that can be used as like a side mission area or something like that, where like I find these tapes and I put them inside a fucking memory den chamber and I get taken to the battle at Anchorage or some crap like that. That'd be cool. That'd be nuts. But I hope it's not like a repetitive story tool.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed, the Animus and all that.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
I hope it's not that at all.
Oh my god.
Worst mistake of that franchise. Ugh, okay, anyway.
Overkill.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the story? We're probably not going to see anything before launch. Anything else on that?
Just, I think they've given quite a lot away. I think there's a lot of symbolism that goes on in Bethesda-related stuff, like even, a lot of Fallout Shelter stuff's quite relevant to what we've seen. So I can maybe imagine that there's quite a lot of stuff about the Revolutionary War. So I think there might be a bit of a kind of vibe in that, like a lot of independence looking for, like that kind of thing.
I think based off the Commonwealth, Minutemen, and Concord, and you look at Lexington, which was at the E3... or not E3, QuakeCon demo, and they said that there was a lot of ghouls there, and apparently that's near like the glowing sea where, like, remember in the concept art they showed that like one ghoul with like the red coat on and stuff.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah, okay. I'm just like, now I'm going on that, putting my tinfoil hat on theory where like I'm connecting that to Lexington, and you have the Battle of Lexington and Concord, then you got the ghouls and the humans, the Minutemen. I don't know, man. I'm just going crazy with that theory, but regardless, that's my only thoughts on that type of symbolism. I think that'd be a cool way of doing it.
That sounds very cool, man.
Yeah.
And for story, I hope that it's more extensive than Skyrim's main campaign, like the main, because I don't know, it ended really just soon. The Skyrim's main campaign. I think it's really not that long. It's only a couple of hours, and I felt it could have been more developed. Could have built up better. So I hope Fallout 4's main campaign will be like a good 20 hours or something. I know a lot of Bethesda's games, the pleasure of playing them come from the side quests, because they have like tons of interesting stories to tell through them. But I also want like a chunky main campaign, where I can like really have a story that develops and with like good pacing and stuff like that. So that's what I'm hoping for with Fallout 4's like main story.
Yeah, like a best of both worlds scenario where we get our side quest, our good side quest that we come to know and expect, and then, on top of that, we get a good, lengthy main story.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I can imagine them doing that. Because they talked about in a recent interview, and although it didn't offer anything new, I heard a quote from Todd Howard where they said, like, we like to have our cake and ice cream with this game.
Our cake and ice cream.
Yeah, because like they said they wanted, I forgot what he was talking about in context. It was like customization, modding, like crafting, all that stuff, where they just wanted to put everything they could think of in the game. So like I feel like it'd be a fair assumption to have all this stuff in the game, the long main story that's really good, and on top of that the good side quest with the environmental storytelling, and then the awesome companions and all that stuff. One idea I just wanted to spit out before we move on about the story though is that, has anyone taken account that this is literally if our theories are true, like a reverse Fallout 3? That you're gonna leave the vault chasing your son, and in Fallout 3 you left the vault chasing your dad.
Yeah,
I think it's almost scary.
Yeah, no, I think it's very possible. I mean, I'm like 75% sure there's something like that that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just I hope it develops after that into something that I can't guess. Cause
no, same here. I hate guessing theories, right? Like, I love it where I'm like, yes, I nailed it, and then I'm just like, but I knew this already. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever actually read the art booklet for Fallout 3, but there's a kind of tangent story where when you finally meet your dad, he's actually turned into a mutant. He's being captured by wolves. You guys aware of that?
I haven't, actually.
Wait, what?
No.
Wait, hold on.
So, in the Fallout 3 art booklet, there's a concept art for your dad in Fallout 3 that is half mutated. Wow. So he's being captured by one of the vaults, but they disregarded that ending as being too cliche. But I thought
I was shocked.
I was totally digging it, man. I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. But,
the cliche ending is save the wasteland. The water
I was gonna say, yeah,
exactly.
Filling the water thing and then dying at the end is totally not cliche.
I hit the part where he
nailed it.
Yeah. But I mean, that would be pretty. I think when you're talking about heart-wrenching storylines, imagine meeting your child finally after all this time, and you can't say
you
can't save your kid.
Oh man,
I think that's a pretty deep, holy shit.
I feel like
the heartstrings.
The potential is there. They have so many options that they can mess with. Where even if we guess correctly, like, oh crap, my son is older than me now. Like, it would just be, they could go from there with something like so unique. So. Part of me is a little worried about guessing correctly with these theories, but at the same token, like, I feel like if Bethesda's smart with their storytelling, they can give us something unique regardless.
And there's also the voice acting, which I think will add a whole new dimension to these protagonists and the interactions that they have. So even if I guess you know the story, like, you still, I think, have to experience it through how the characters interact, and that's gonna, because before you would just choose like, I want to pick this option. Now it's like they will actually say it and have their own emotional responses and stuff. And I think that'll make it just completely new.
Yeah, and there's got to be some degree of emotion, because the reason I posted those Fallout 4 outtakes, although one of them was this Courtney Taylor talking about how much she enjoys Taco Bell, the other one was Brian recording a line for something, I don't know what, but he was like, for the lines, like, he was legitimately pissed Like he was, like what did he say? He's like, we went to say like fuck you, and like he got really into it, and like so to hear that there's gonna
fuck you, man, and then he just started laughing.
Yeah, because he like went to say fuck you again, and like,
he's
like,
but that was actually like an in-game line. The fuck you wasn't part of the like.
No, that was
a joking thing.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
an
no,
in-game line.
the fuck you, and then because it bleeps out. So I assume the
like
bleep is a character that you don't know, or you're not able to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, I think it's an in-game line. I believe it is.
It definitely is because they didn't bleep out fuck, but they
they
bleeped out
that's true.
after that. So
I'm looking for something like that, like a fuck you playthrough where you only say fuck you to people.
Intelligence 1. Oh my god, please, if they capitalize on that, I would be so happy. Because to audibly hear the stupid shit your guy says instead of just reading it would be amazing.
Codsworth, you're still alive? I'm a robot, sir. Of course I don't die. Oh!
Just picking up all the objects in the wasteland.
Yeah.
I feel this topic of things to fear segues perfectly into our next little discussion, which is when I was reading an article in Game Informer, this latest issue, there was a piece from Andrew Reiner about Fallout 4, and naturally I had to read it. Andrew Reiner will probably be he's supposed to be on the podcast at some point soon. Lone's tried to get him on like 70 times.
He's replied to it. We've had talks with him.
But, he'll be on soon. I promise you. But he mentioned that nobody outside of Bethesda Game Studios has played this game. And considering that, they mentioned in an interview at E3 that they're still finding new things in this game, like 400 hours in. Like Todd Howard said it. I forgot who his name was, but like a lead designer said, they were just playing the game. They're like, what's that? I don't remember putting that in there. And, they're just discovering these new things in the game, so close to the end of development. Just brought about the question that is there something to fear with this game? Because, they're not testing outside where, they're bringing in multiple opinions. They're doing everything internally. And although, it's another dimension where, you could talk about, they could, it's, fuck, I'm trying to think where I wanted to go with this.
No, I know what you
There's two
mean.
sides to it, because, they need to test internally because they don't want to hand it out, but you also want to kind of let the press play it to some degree to let people know when they're spending their money on it that it's worth it, but some people don't trust the press, so maybe that's why they're not doing it. But anyways, I just wanted to bring up the discussion that is there something to fear because they're keeping it so internalized?
I'm scared of bugs, man.
Yeah.
If they really, how many bug testers do they have? That's what I'm wondering. I'm sure they've found more efficient ways to do it since, like Fallout 3 and Skyrim. But if they keep things if they keep the lid too tightly shut, I feel like, maybe the bug testing won't be able to be as, extensive as it could be. So I don't know, that's like one of my main concerns, just the bugs. Because I know like Skyrim had a bunch, especially with like the PlayStation 3 version.
Yeah.
Skyrim had one or two bugs,
One or two, or 10 or a million. So that's... there's that, and like you said, Maddie, the press needs to tell people or let people know that this game is good, or this game, I'm concerned about this game, or whatever, which I don't think will be the case, but a good press is needed, absolutely, to sell this game.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I wonder if Bethesda's taking this route to let just the audience interpret themselves. They do this big E3 presentation. They don't do much public displays after that to kind of let, you find Fallout 4 on the internet. Yeah, right? You find Fallout 4 on the internet.
Very, very low, low. And then within the last 2 weeks of the game before release, that's when they started to release some stuff and show you actual gameplay. And then when the game came out, it was like, boom, it hit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they're following a similar format.
Yeah. I'm just saying, what I was going on was that, you search Fallout 4 on the internet and, there's, you don't see any, IGN or GameSpot or whatever just saying, we played Fallout 4 and here's what we thought. We saw Fallout 4 and here's what we thought, just they're seeing what we're seeing. And so it's really left up to the consumer's interpretation on whether or not they want to buy this product, which is kind of tilting the traditional marketing techniques on its head, where it's not give it to the press, let them talk the game up, it's let the community talk the game up, don't show anything. It's so backwards, and you kind of have to in a sense tip your hat to Bethesda for stepping back and noticing all this.
Yeah,
because I don't know how you don't realize. Like, I guess with what we're accustomed to, you see a game that so many people are excited for. Show us more. What made Bethesda step back and go, let's show them less.
Yeah.
I can imagine a cock block. No, I'm just kidding.
It's been so long since anyone's seen Fallout, and it just came out of nowhere, so it's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what I'd say on the in-house testing part is that
let's go back to that.
Assassin's Creed Unity was tested by a testing firm. So does
okay.
It
okay.
Oh man.
I would trust a company which is aware of how notorious its games are for bugs on testing their own game for bugs, than a company there's an article somewhere and they're warning that this Christmas games will be just as buggy as they were last year. So that's a games testing firm saying that. I'll be honest with you, I'm not afraid. There'll be bugs, sure, but
oh yeah, I definitely.
I don't mind. We talked about this a couple of weeks back, but I don't mind the funny ones, like the ones where like the giant swung their club and hit you and you'd skyrocket. That's funny, but like.
As long as it's not game breaking.
Yeah, because Bethesda said the ones that we're going to avoid are like the broken saves. Like those hurt, and like they don't want those to happen. So I feel like I'm just kind of afraid in a sense, if anything, that they focus on those bugs too much and let all these other ones just kind of trickle out.
Yeah.
But they said that they developed a new internal testing type of thing for their games after Skyrim, because Skyrim was such a big issue. They were like, we found a new way to test bugs, and it works, and that's what we're gonna go with from here on in.
I wonder what that's about. Is it like a software thing that they developed a program for bugging or something?
I have no idea how that works. They say that QA testing for their games is the absolute worst. Like they hate it because it's such a big game and there's so much going on that they probably have to like literally test everything every second.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what their solution is. Although, I mean, there will be bugs. It's just a question of how game breaking and how many there are. I mean, the funny ones, whatever. I can look over those. I'll laugh it off and whatever. But like the PlayStation 3 thing was just an absolute mess, and where like the frame rate would just completely dip and stuff like that. That kind of stuff just can't happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's a kind of difficult one to deal with because there was a bit of controversy between Bethesda and PlayStation at the time.
Conspiracy theories flying around.
Yeah, the PS3 did have like a really weird, different architecture compared to like the Xbox 360 and PC. Yeah, the cell processor, that was always like an issue. So this time that shouldn't be a problem because the PlayStation 4 is like more similar to, I guess, a PC architecture and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I'm not really too concerned with this one. And I mean, God, it's been so long. They've been developing this game for so many freaking years.
And they kept it under wraps for
a
solid 4 years, where I think they waited until they knew it was okay to reveal it and give a release date and stuff. So I think there's a lot more going on behind the curtains than we really know about.
Yeah, I feel like they're showing confidence in their product, and that's a good sign that, this is close to being ready, guys. Like the release date, when they announced the release, I was really surprised. I was like, wait, that soon?
Yeah.
Like after unveiling? So I'm like, wow, so they must be really confident with the product. And if that's the case, then I'm looking forward to it.
I still to this day, I was only don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound greedy here, but like I was the smallest bit disappointed when they didn't put the release date on the Great War. I was praying they had it on October 23rd. I was like, you could still do that one kind of, I guess not 111. You couldn't really do it, but still, you could get rid of the 111 thing and just do 10/23/2015, the day the bombs fall, and that would have put a smile on so many people's faces. But regardless, it's only a 2-3 week difference. Yeah, close to 3 weeks. So I'm fine with that. But regardless, actually, the other reason I had a theory on that is because I think that fell on a Friday, which Skyrim fell on as well, and I was
really?
I was like, please.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah. But
Bethesda really likes the ones and stuff, and playing with the, I don't know, just.
Oh yeah, Skyrim was like the
stuff. Yeah, the
1.
Ha, I get it. Yeah, good one, Bethesda, good one. Yeah, okay.
Oh shit.
Anyway,
that was good. The final piece of news we have is not Fallout, in your face, Dishonored 2. I bet you didn't see that coming. Oh my god, I know.
What?
Sins. So this is actually a boatload of new info that came from a Bethesda Net interview with Harvey Smith. Now, a quick side note, Bethesda. See, this is how the Bethesda Net interviews should go. You know, if anyone pays attention to the Bethesda Net interviews when it comes to Fallout 4, it's reiterations of what we already know. That bothers me. I don't like that as a Fallout fan. But anyways, Harvey detailed a bit of the opening of the game in which he said there was a, quote, inciting event where whether you are Corvo or Emily, you now become an outlaw, and you have to flee south to Karnaca, a.k.a. the Jewel of the South. And you have to pick out a bunch of targets and kill them. So I'm guessing it's once again another revenge quest where you become an outlaw. You have to go back and kill the people who screwed you over. But anyways, Karnaca is modeled after places such as Greece, Italy, Spain. And we also learned about a new dynamic in the gameplay. There are these things called blood flies. And they nest in corpses. So when there's more corpses based off the way you play, so if you start killing people, these blood flies find these corpses and nest in. And they attack you if you try to walk by them. So the only way you can go by them is by sneaking very carefully. And they come at you in swarms and stuff, so they can really help you blow your cover if, you get attacked by this blood fly swarm and you start sprinting by, like, a bunch of guards who can just flip the alarm. So they said it's an interesting dynamic because now you might have to play non-lethal at certain points, even if you didn't want to, or you can kill people anyways, but you're going to have to remember that that's going to become a trap on your way back or something. So it was an interesting batch of new info for Dishonored 2 that I felt was definitely worth pointing out there. Has anyone here? I think Noah has, but I don't know if you other.
What do you think Noah has?
I've played Dishonored 1.
Okay.
And I've watched the trailer of Dishonored 2, the cinematic trailer, and I think that actually shows the flies. Actually.
Yeah, they did show the flies, but they never detailed it. They just people kind of thought it was like whatever. But I thought it was an interesting point. But have you played any Dishonored, Marcus?
I've made my way about halfway through it. Haven't had the time to finish it, but yeah, I mean it's one of those games which challenges you to play differently, and I think by the sense of things, that's what they're trying to do, isn't it? They're trying to make you think about what you're doing a bit more.
Yeah, it's a great game.
So, yeah.
I loved it. That's the game that in most recent memory that I remember like compulsively playing through like at least 2 times, 3 times in a row was Dishonored. I loved that game so much.
Yeah, there's so much variety in what you can do. They just give you the tools and like a little sandbox, and then you can devise like so many different like pathways and methodologies and executing your missions, which is really cool.
I'm so excited for the next one because it's literally if it's just Dishonored 1 and bigger with a couple of new ideas, like that's all it needs.
Exactly.
It's such a dynamic game in the first place. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it. But these blood flies, I wonder, do you guys think they're gonna have any more dynamic things that happen throughout these sandbox levels? I don't know what ideas we could spit out here, but do we think they're going to kind of go down this path where it's not also just the set level things that happen, but things that the player does that help change what goes on in this world and perhaps screw them over in some sense and makes the game more tough or maybe even easier?
I feel like the blood flies might like if you keep killing more people, that might affect like what kind of ending you get. And maybe there's like an ending involving, I don't know, blood flies taking over the world or something. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like they were highlighted in the trailer almost, like they were given like a close-up. And I feel like they are important to some degree in how the story plays out. Like I feel like they are an integral part of what the big issue of this game is. Whether it be in Dishonored 1, what was it? Some kind of a disease? I don't know. There were zombified.
Like a plague kind of
plague,
thing.
right? That's what it was. So maybe this is the new plague or something. The blood flies, this species that's been screwing with humans and stuff. So I'm thinking, the more people you kill, the more you help these blood flies harvest and grow. And I don't know. That's just my like little theory, but I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I, because they're. You want to talk about not talking about a game? We
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Fallout 4 is bad. This one, they haven't said a word.
Yep.
I mean, I guess something kind of cool I'd say is the story seems to revolve around revenge for the second one. So you're already in a new place. The first one was revenge as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jeez.
The first one was basically all about revenge.
Yeah.
But it was also a lot about choice, which
Yeah.
is why I think I feel that they will go down that path of like there being more dynamic options in the combat and stuff because you get different endings whether you kill a lot of people, the world kind of changes where there's more people plagued if you kill a lot of people. So you can really see that. I can imagine they kind of do a thing like they did in the Batman Arkham games where you I remember if you like choked out enemies, in a non-lethal fashion, they sometimes used to have like a buzzer around their neck or something like that would set off an alarm if you choked them out. So sometimes you'd have to wait to take them out last or something like that. So I could see them doing that in Dishonored so that, even when you're doing a non-lethal playthrough, it still changes it up on you.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a similar thing to what Yong was saying about the world, but instead of the world being affected, maybe it's you this time, because you do get to choose a lot about your character this time. You get to choose like completely different characters. So it would make sense to me if maybe it more affects you, and maybe as the story progresses or you kill more people, it affects your character. That kind of like Fable did actually.
Yeah.
Visibly different.
Something that I'm wondering is can you carry over? I don't know if this has been confirmed so far, but can you carry over Dishonored 1 save files to Dishonored 2?
Not that I've heard of, but that's actually an idea I've never considered. I wonder if they're looking into that because they could do it. Because it's a last gen game, then again they have the definitive edition. But
yeah,
you look at Dragon Age Keep, that was a good idea on how to carry over your save file into other games in an unique fashion.
Like I think in Dishonored 1, what's the female character's name again? I forget.
Emily.
Yeah, isn't she is in Dishonored 1, right?
She's
the
a
one
little
with
girl.
Yeah, the one who draws the picture or whatever, and like based on how you play the game, she will draw like a happy picture or a really creepy looking picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you could import your save file, maybe you could have Emily start out a certain way based on how you played in Dishonored 1. Like that's like one idea that I had that I'm wondering if they're going to implement that.
Yeah, wow, I never thought about that. That's a really good idea. I hope they do that because
me too.
Importing save files is always nice to kind of have that this is my character.
Too,
yeah, exactly. Mass Effect 3's journey was good. The ending people had a problem with, but discussion for another day, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say one of the worst stories where the lack of transferring save files made the most difference to me was actually Metro 2033. I don't know if you guys played that.
Oh, Metro, yeah.
That was a big deal for me when they don't let you decide the ending of the next.
And they carry over the bad ending.
Yeah, you forced to kill this whole race of people.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. I feel shit.
I almost said Dishonored. It made Metro Last Light all so much better, in my opinion. Like, they made a right choice by doing the evil ending.
Mm-hmm.
That game, man. That game. Speaking of that game, that wraps up our... I'm on a roll with these segues right now. That wraps up our Bethesda news. Let's talk about what we're playing, though. Our favorite news bit. Who would like to go first?
I mean, I'm obviously I've been playing Metal Gear. That's been out, and that's sort of been my main game that I've been covering. So a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5. Got a review out recently, so if you'd like to know my thoughts on the game, check that out. Mm-hmm. Although, I don't know, this game, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it right now with, the Kojima thing, him being let go. And
has that, not to interrupt you, but has that officially happened?
They haven't said anything officially yet, but I mean, the rumors seem to be lining up. If you read between the lines, I mean, it's pretty clear. And he's supposed to leave Konami at the end of this year, I believe, or the beginning of the next one, somewhere around there. So I think Kojima's just gonna sort of support the game, patch it and stuff like that. And Metal Gear Online 3 is still coming out. That hasn't been released yet. So I think after all that happens, then Kojima will leave. Because I already know the guy who designed the Fox engine, or the main programming engineer or whatever behind the Fox engine, which is the engine that powers Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah. He already left.
Okay.
So I feel like it's gonna happen sooner or later. For the better or for worse, who knows? I personally think for the better.
Yeah.
But that, and on top of people claiming Metal Gear is incomplete or something because one of the missions is missing. It's like this key mission that had a really important story element, but they excluded it for some reason. It's Mission 51, and so I don't know. I released my review. I said it's an amazing game. Some people are like, nah, this game's incomplete. This is bullshit. I want my money back and whatever.
It looks like a good game.
I mean, feel free to give your full thoughts on it if you like. I know you're not going to do the 35-minute review you did on your channel or whatever. Right. If you want to break it down a little bit, by all means, because I'm only 16% into the game, but
really?
I trust that you'll not spoil it, but
No, yeah, of course.
by all means, go on if you'd like to talk a little bit about it.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a really, really great game. And I think this is a good entry point for, I guess, Metal Gear newbies. Even though the story is going to be confusing if you haven't played the previous Metal Gears, the gameplay is just, it's top-notch, I feel. Stealth-wise, I mean, I think it's the best stealth game that's ever been made so far. Like, I think it puts games like Assassin's Creed to shame. Where their games, like, they try to... Like, it's an illusion that you have freedom to, like, tackle a mission however you want. But I feel like there are a lot of the times holding my hand through a mission, whereas Metal Gear Solid 5 really gives you that freedom of infiltration, and they give you so many weapons and tools and gadgets.
Definitely.
A lot of them just ridiculous. Like, I mean, you have, like, a balloon that you can use to lift people up in the air and recruit them. I mean,
and goats.
And goats. Like, what game does that? Game of the year already right there. Nah, but, so, yeah, the gameplay is, for me, what really captured me about Metal Gear Solid 5. And it's an open world. It's not like Fallout 4 where you'll find side quests and NPCs everywhere. It's an open world specifically tailored for, like, infiltration. And a lot of people are claiming, the landscape is kind of, I guess, barren. Like, there's not a lot there. But I feel like the landscape is important for stuff like preparation, and if you want to escape from a base after being detected, you have the landscape to do that. And so it's all tailored for infiltration. It's not Grand Theft Auto. You're not gonna crash into pedestrians and have fun that way, or go to a strip club or play tennis or whatever. And you have, like, Mother Base where you can, like, manage your soldiers and stuff. It really feels like you're, like, the boss of this massive base and organization, and you're going in there and doing all these missions like a total badass. So yeah, this game is definitely worth getting, despite its controversial ending, which again I won't spoil for you guys. But it's definitely, like, a really, really good game. A lot of people should play it. And for now, it's my personal game of the year. And I'm not trying to be biased, like, oh, I'm a Metal Gear fan.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Metal Gear fan, I would have been, like, really upset if this game had really, truly disappointed me, especially me, because I've been covering this game for so long. Like, if it would have been trashed, then I would have trashed it. But I think it's great. So far, my game of the year. But Fallout 4, it looks like, it's a good contender for dethroning Metal Gear Solid 5 in that respect.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, because this game's getting tens left and right. Like, do you think it's deserving? Because I know, like, a 10's a bold statement in my opinion, because, like, I think GameSpot's given 9 in total. I don't know how many IGN's given in total, but, do you agree that they deserve these 10 out of 10s?
Yeah, I think it did before I found out that there was a mission missing.
Okay.
Then at that point, the game... And yeah, I mean, what they did was they released a video version of the mission, like incomplete cutscenes and artwork and stuff, and they sort of made, like, a little reel that sort of shows you what the mission could have been, and it tells you, like, all the story details and stuff. But I would have, like, loved to play that mission, and that mission shouldn't just be exclusive to those who bought, like, the collector's edition, which is, wow. And that's, like, kind of bullshit. I mean, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube eventually and stuff like that, but it should just be accessible in the game somehow. If the mission is not even going to be made, at least it should be integrated somewhere in the game where everyone can see it. So that's why I personally don't think it's a perfect game. It's just missing something. But if it wasn't for that, I'd say because the gameplay is just that good. The systems are so dynamic, and you can literally do missions in so many freaking ways. It's ridiculous. I've played this game. This is my third time now playing through it, because I went to the review event, and that was my first time. And and the second time was when I got the review copy, and the third time is, like, my playthrough for my YongPlays channel, which is where I do my Let's Plays. And I still keep finding, like, new stuff to do, and I'm like, wait, I just did that? Holy shit! Like, I didn't know you could do this. That's the kind of game that, like, really gets me going and really hypes me up, when you can keep finding new things, and you can just do shit in however the hell way you want.
Absolutely.
And there's games like Witcher 3, and I love, like, the story and the lore and the world in that. But in that game, the reason for why I chose MGS5 over Witcher 3 Game of the Year wise, for now, personally, In Witcher 3, you do a quest, but you tackle, you go from point A to point B, and there's not really too many ways to tackle that one quest, really. I mean, you just do that one thing. Yeah. Whereas MGS5, it's like you have so many freaking options. It's just ridiculous. It's something that no game has really done to this degree, in my personal opinion, in terms of the freedom and the respect for, I guess, the player intelligence and creativity, where they really say, okay, it's up to you now to do this mission however the hell you want, and you do it, and it's just really satisfying when you pull off this crazy stunt that happened organically. It wasn't like set up in that way. There's no previous Metal Gear games are relatively linear. This one's like open, and it's just, I never felt so much satisfaction out of coming up with my own ways of doing things. But I mean, we'll see. Fallout 4 might just win me over. But that's my thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 5. I think it's an amazing game.
On top of the dynamic thing, I mean, there was like certain points where it blew me away just how like things could change on a second. Like I was about to be like screwed over. There was helicopters flying around. There were soldiers everywhere. I'm like just laying prone. Like you press triangle so you're like as still as possible. And all of a sudden a sandstorm blows in, and like I'm like, oh my god, yes. And like I get up and I just sprint. Like I sprint for cover now, and like I managed to save myself because of something that the world just naturally did at a good time.
Exactly.
And stuff like that I'm just like, wow, that just happened. That's a unique story that I can go and tell my friends about this game that they might not have experienced in their mission. So I agree with that. The gameplay is stellar. I can't really say much for the story at the moment because I haven't played much of it. But yeah, I gotta say it's a great game.
Yeah, that's the thing about this game. We could sit down and talk about it, and we'd tell like two different stories about the same missions, and that's, I think, the true definition of like an open, dynamic game. Where that can happen, that's when a game is truly, really like open and free. I feel like you really can't do that with Assassin's Creed. Like, how'd you kill this guy? I stabbed him in the face. Like that's
and they give you like the objective markers on where you need to go to get those different endings. Where like you said, Metal Gear kind of lets you figure that out yourself if you can.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you do it yourself.
And also Metal Gear has like awesome like presentation, like the cinematography and the graphics and stuff, and the cutscenes are just like stellar looking and incredible to look at. Which is I haven't seen presentation like that in a long time. Hideo Kojima is a fan of movies, which lends a lot into that. But so just a well-rounded package overall. It's just a lot of people are pissed about the ending and the missing Mission 51, which is understandable. Not to bash anyone who has that opinion. I completely understand where you're coming from. But for me, the gameplay just like outshines these flaws. But sort of my opinion on the game.
As for your favorite news, do you have any this week?
My favorite news. Get back to me on that.
Right.
That
no problem.
That was an ambush right there. I was like, whoa.
My bad.
What's happening? That's okay.
I don't have any news either, so the Yankees won today. So
we've all not done our homework. Go.
All right, so Marcus, would you like to go then, or?
I'll go. Yeah, sure. So on that note, we'll go from a great game to a bad game. I've been playing Destiny. So
Taken King. Hold on, Taken King or?
Taken King. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm curious to hear this one.
Yep. So I've been a pretty diehard fan of Bungie for a long time. So it pains me to see this happen over and over again. But so I got home, I got my money, I bought the Taken King, I downloaded it, and at first, you're getting these nice big treats of cutscenes and stuff. You're like, okay, all right, they're putting the money in, but I'd say fundamentally it kind of falls into the same pitfalls. I don't think they really know what they're doing, to be honest.
Probably. Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to assume.
Yeah, they're padding out with a lot of go fetch this for me quests, which I ended up with a kind of checklist similar to Skyrim towards the end of the game, where it's just a long list of side objectives that I've got to fill out, but it's got that weird kind of addictive feeling to it. So I've been playing that for a long time, but I've been kind of supplementing that, I'd say, with Fez as well. Just replaying Fez is just the complete opposite to that. But
I refuse to support that game because of Phil Fish, but go on.
Yeah.
It's a cool game, but yeah, Phil Fish is a punk.
Actually. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Destiny and the Taken King, it's more of the same, you know. And I've got a lot of friends on it, and it's one of those games that does bring people together.
Yes.
So if you have a large kind of community of friends that you're playing with, you know, maybe it is worth getting. But you know, in comparison to what you're getting for £40, and then when you get like Bethesda for £40, you know, it's not comparable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you want to. Fish.
Because I hold on. Out of curiosity, because I have to ask. I'm regret asking, but I need to know. What is the point of the Taken King? I haven't read a thing on this. I'm brand new to this. What does it add that makes me want to get back into Destiny?
Okay. So
what's supposed to get me back into Destiny, rather?
What's supposed to get you back into Destiny is a new voice actor. So they've completely scrapped pure Dinklage.
A new voice actor.
That's really the main thing.
Nolan Norris. Okay, I remember. I read that much. Okay, how about outside of that? Is that why I'm supposed to spend $40 or whatever?
So we've got some new strikes. The stuff like I had on Xbox as well. So I don't have any of the PlayStation exclusives. So I got that too. But
poor shit.
You know, should have already got it, but, you know, here we are. Basically, a lot of the same missions, a new raid, stuff like that. So it's essentially, imagine 2 of the previous DLCs, and they've redone a lot of the world. So they basically have taken out a lot of the enemies and replaced them with new ones and kind of changed up the things you know. So suddenly you're playing through a strike, which you're quite familiar with. And then out of the blue, like, you'll get kind of pounced on by enemies from another planet and stuff like that. So it's kind of trying to breathe new life into the kind of stale world, I guess, is what you're paying for.
I did hear that it, like, fixes certain elements of stuff like loot, and it, like, they tweak it in a way that I guess it's more satisfying now. Basically what I'm hearing is you pay $40 to get the game that you should have originally gotten. That's what I'm hearing. Like $40 extra dollars.
That's what I was exactly thinking.
I don't think it's good enough to warrant the game that it should have been. But there's a weird kind of thing where it doesn't do any fan service to the original people. Like I've been here since day one playing that game, and essentially what's happened is, you know, I'm sure you're all aware about the interview with the art director from Bungie, where he said if you saw these emotes, you would throw money at the screen, regardless of what they were, basically.
I remember that. And people were like, well, fuck you then.
Well, I'm not going to do that. And here I am. I've given him the money. But, there's a lot of things where it's like, if you worked hard for weapons, they've gone, all right, so we need to make it all so it works better. So those weapons are gone, but you still need to get the new weapons. You're not going to get the replacements, so I guess it's fixed it, but inadvertently kind of made it harder for the people who've already done it. So there's a lot of kind of they're just adding on gameplay errors, it seems to me, anyway.
So no story, really.
Not really. I mean, there's cutscenes.
That sucks, because that's the thing that Bungie was good at. Like, they told a good first-person shooter story.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a while ago someone referring to Halo as lightning in a jar, and I feel like that's the best description. It wouldn't have mattered who developed Halo as long as they did a good job of it. You know, it was just it was fated to be great, I guess.
I bought Destiny. I haven't bought any of the DLCs. I refuse. You know, it's just I played through it and it was fucking bullshit. The story was literally non-existent. I played through the main campaign, and then it was just kind of like a to be continued kind of thing. Yeah. And
for the next one.
Yeah, and there was not even like enough development within that part for me to like be interested in any of this. It was literally go from point A to point B, pull out your fucking Dinklage bot, he'll tell you something, he'll give you some exposition, and then shoot some people, and then that's it. It was literally just Dinklebot narrating the whole fucking story. That was literally it.
Pretty much open world Call of Duty.
Honestly, though, like, it's, and I'm not just saying this for dramatic effect, it was one of the first, it was actually not one of the, it was the first game that when I beat with my friend Connor, we were playing co-op together, we beat it, we both literally said in unison, wait, that's it? That's the end? Because we didn't know. And then all of a sudden I didn't know until I got a trophy pop up, and it told me, like, you beat the game, like, or this is the final mission or something like that. I was like, Connor, that was the end of the game. He's like, what the fuck? That was the end, and like we had no idea. We were confused.
Yeah, I didn't know I was in the end game when I was playing that mission. I was like, oh, cool, I can't wait for the next one. And then it's just like, thank you for playing. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is bullshit. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You wonder if you went over to Bungie headquarters, how much of Destiny 2's already been developed because it was part of Destiny 1.
Oh my god.
I feel Destiny 2 is like the chance at redemption. They just need to stop with all these expansions and DLC. I understand they have a lot of players and everything, but for like the actual consumer who expected what they should have gotten in Destiny 1, just get to work on Destiny 2 and give us the story, give us the cutscenes, give us that actual dynamic online gameplay, give us a bunch of classes. I think we'll be happy, Yeah.
I mean, I think the dangerous thing is there that we come from a generation which grew up with games that were pretty much, they were getting really good, like when we were growing up. Like I would say we have a higher expectation than the current generations coming in, because I guess to that point where like they almost get used to like a GTA comes along every couple of years, and then a Fallout 4 comes along every couple of years. It just it seems like they're getting used to like, oh yeah, every third game that I buy is going to be pretty poor. I would say personally. I mean, if you're on Steam and you're buying indie games and stuff, it's not as bad. But if you're on console and you're stuck with whatever they decide is coming out on console, I'd say it's a bit different.
Yeah, I think with Destiny 2, Bungie needs to understand what an expansion is. It's not splitting the game into a bunch of pieces and then giving it to you one bit at a time. That's not an expansion. That's just giving you an incomplete game little bits at a time. An expansion is when you have a full product and then you expand. See what I did there? Expansion. When you expand upon a complete product, that's an expansion. Like Fallout 4, right? I mean, they don't even know what DLC is coming out because they were just focusing on completing the game. Once that's done, they're going to expand upon the game by releasing new story. The game itself is going to be complete, though. That's what matters. Destiny is not complete. It's just they literally just purposely split it up to, I don't know, get more money, whatever it is. With Destiny 2, they have to understand what an expansion is. I mean, I have no problem buying expansions as long as they actually expand upon the game. It's like, getting a freaking birthday cake one piece at a time, every day or something. Like, that makes no sense. I want the whole fucking cake. And then give me more cake after that. Expand upon that cake. That makes sense. I don't know. That's a terrible analogy.
I would say we like the cake and ice cream.
Exactly.
We have a good example of a solid expansion would be the Witcher 3's new expansion. I have no idea what it's called, but I know Witcher 3 was a damn full game. And hell yeah. Yeah, to see like a full DLC come out after that is awesome.
Yeah, not only they released like free DLC for a while too.
Yeah, I think it was like 16 pieces or something like that.
It was crazy. But that's how you do it,
Exactly. I couldn't fucking believe it either. They just like each week I'd sign on. Oh, more DLC. Cool. I'm gonna go do these quests now.
Exactly.
There's a really good example with GTA where basically the people that are buying GTA dollars fund the DLC. So instead of having stupid little packs, like for example, like back in the day when we had horse armor, like that would be free.
Speaking of horse armor, anyone see the Metal Gear Solid 5 horse armor? I saw that. I'm like, yeah, it's back.
Yeah, they're jumping on the bandwagon.
That was nearly my news.
Your favorite news?
Yeah, that was nearly it.
That might just be my favorite news as well. Well, actually, for me, I just thought of one. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing for. I don't know if you guys know the Persona series.
Oh yes.
Persona 5, man.
Oh my god.
Shit. The new trailer they came out with looks fucking amazing. This game just looks amazing. I love it.
Can't wait. Like they release character synopsis, I'm not reading it. I can't because the fun of like when you see that picture come up for someone in the text box, that's like a core character, and I'm like, who is this guy? I gotta get to know him myself.
Right.
Because I literally blindly bought Persona 4 going. Like, I played 3. I've kind of dabbled in 2 a little bit, but, like, I don't like the 1 and 2 that much. I just like 3 and 4, like I think
same.
a lot of the fans do. And, 4 was just such, like, it's one of my favorite games of all time, honestly.
Same.
Because I played it blindly, just going in without knowing a thing. And I learned about all these characters and just fell in love. And, like, 5 literally just expands upon it. I know we were just talking about expanding upon it, but it really does. Like, it's just everything you like. You could play video games with the little cat thing. Like, that's awesome. And like, it seems like I don't know who you play as. That's the thing. There's so much mystery to this game compared to Persona 4, where 4 was kind of the find the murderer, who's the bad guy thing.
Yeah.
5 was kind of you don't.
It's like you're the almost. It looks like you're almost like the villains, like anti-heroes or something. You're like
that's what I'm thinking.
Rebels or something. But yeah, I think the main character is the the one dude with the brown hair and the creepy eyes. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Potter, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's the main character, and then you have the ensemble, which is the cat, the anime hot chick, and the tough guy, the comic relief dude. There's always one of those, like Junpei in Persona 3, and then Adachi, I think. No, was it Adachi?
I forget his name. He was voiced by Troy Baker, though. Blonde hair.
Oh, no, not him.
Yosuke?
Yeah, Yosuke, that's what it was.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I have a statue of him in my room. Like a little
he's great.
Favorite character in that.
Junpei kind of annoyed me, but Yosuke, like, I really actually liked.
Well, see, Junpei annoyed me, but it was, I forgot her name, but the girl with the bow and arrow.
What is this anime shit Let
us have our moment. Let us have our
fucking
moment.
weeaboos. I'm just kidding.
All right, hold on. But what was cool was that, Junpei was annoying, but the girl with the bow and arrow, when she started calling him Stupei.
Oh, yeah.
It started, like, she was more of the comic relief than anything.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Stupei was a pretty great name. They nailed it. But yeah, Persona 5 just looks amazing. When I saw that trailer, I was pretty freaking hyped.
Yeah.
The one thing though, I hope Persona 4, I liked the story, but the ending was a bit underwhelming for me.
Mm-hmm. I got the bad ending.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was kind of happy with it, but I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, just I guess who the killer or whatever turned out to be, I was like, that's such bullshit. Like,
yeah,
there were no hints
the whole time.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Persona 5 is my favorite news of, I guess, the week.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because, not to keep going on, because I know Noah and Marcus can't partake in this, but I gotta say, dude, the fact that you can actually, like, walk around Tokyo in a sense, like, they have these, like, set areas, like, I saw that, I was like, yes, thank you, finally.
Yeah, and it's like a pretty faithful recreation of, was it Shibuya or something? Yeah, Shibuya.
Yeah, the Shibuya crossing or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. And yeah, the city looks amazing, and just the art style looks amazing. Everything just looks amazing about this game. So.
Absolutely.
And it's been delayed to 2016, which is not good news, but,
I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah, me neither. If they want to take their time with it, I welcome it. None of this Destiny bullshit happening with Persona 5.
Yeah, please, God, no.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Marcus, you got news, though?
I do have news, but it's good news. It's about DLC again, though. But, Rainbow Six maps all will be free.
Oh, it's for Siege?
Free. Yeah, man.
Really?
All of their future maps will be free, which I thought was great.
I love hearing good news about, not to interrupt you, I love hearing good news about Ubisoft, and it's because I have, like, this unique perspective where, like, I'm in their, like, I guess you would call it a program, in a sense, on my channel where, like, they'll give me review copies, so, like, it's good to hear that they're gonna, like, do things like that, because it just kind of keeps my interest longer.
It's pretty sweet. It's just funny when it comes out, and at the same time they're telling us about the new Assassin's Creed Season Pass. It's like, you're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, guys, come on. But you hear about this and you realize it's not a Ubisoft thing, it's an Assassin's Creed thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's their cash cow. Just gotta let it happen.
It's good to hear. A game like this, which is obviously going to be a success, release, just committing to it without even seeing their sale numbers. I just thought that was pretty impressive.
Huh. Speaking of Season Pass, what do you guys think about the Fallout 4 Season Pass that was announced recently?
Oh. I mean,
that was interesting to see.
Yeah, it was interesting because Bethesda and Season Pass are not two words that usually go together.
Yep.
But, I mean, I'm happy that they're not planning content, so I can't really complain. But if I had to complain about anything, it's like, why don't you just... I've said this like at least 4 times now on my channel, but it would have sold so much more if you just waited until you said, like, yeah, Fallout 4 has been out for a couple of months, and here's our New York DLC. And on top of that, there's this brand new Season Pass, which if you pay for it now, you get 1 DLC for free, and then any other DLC we do afterwards is free as well. Then I'd be like, well, I'm gonna fucking buy that then.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
It's like a diehard Fallout fan. Like, yeah, I'll buy it, no doubt. But from a general consumer standpoint, someone who's not like me, I wouldn't jump on a Season Pass right now. But the other thing that you got to take into account that a lot of people haven't when they complained about this is that they're not selling it yet, or at least if they are, it's very specific retailers. So
yeah, they're selling it over in the UK for sure at one retailer, but it's just one specifically. I feel like there's a kind of mixed thing with this where like it all looks really good, and it's like I think it was about the point where they started talking about the Monopoly set. I was like, okay, guys, you want to just calm down for a little bit. Stop
Mm-hmm.
offering me stuff I can buy just for a little bit.
Right.
Because they're just taking advantage of the hype pretty hard now, which is great because it's going to go to the next Fallout game or whatever they want to put it to. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It pushed me a bit, but
Yeah.
it makes sense, and it is something that has been soiled by other developers. Because a season pass really, you should be like, yeah, I'll buy a season pass for cheaper, for sure. But I think we have this ingrained in our head that season passes are risky business nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, it's a matter of whether they actually produce enough content. Like Skyrim, it had like some really good DLCs and stuff, or expansions, or whatever you want to call them. But I think there was like one more that was supposed to come out, and they're like, okay, guys, this is where we're gonna end it. I think with Dragonborn, they're like, okay, this is our last one, and people are like, wait, what? You promised us like a bunch more. And that's when they began development on Fallout 4. I think they posted like a blog post. We're like, okay, guys, we're going to move on to our next project. This is going to be our last DLC. And so it was Dawnguard,
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthfire, something like that.
Wait, is Hearthstone the card game? I always fuck it up now.
No, yeah, Hearthstone is the card game.
Okay.
Hearthfire
is the card game. Hearthfire was the home DLC.
Yeah, the home DLC, and then Dragonborn, and that was it. And I was like a bit disappointed at that because they were really good DLCs and they provided a lot of content. But I feel like one or two, like at least one more was due, and I think they trademarked Redguard, and I think that was supposed to deal with the Red Guards. And I think they might have canceled that.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they trademarked it, and then we didn't hear of it again. And so I don't know. So that was like a bit disappointing. So I hope with Fallout 4 they'll release like at least three like good chunk DLCs, and along with whatever the horse or Brahmin armor or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I hope I mean I don't imagine them. It would be definitely a big treat, but I think it depends on how many season passes sell. If they do like let's say they do 3 expansions, that would be $10 each normally, and then after that, all the DLC would be free because they gave us that, or no, 40. Okay, they gave us $40 worth, and then after that, I would be surprised if they gave us another like new location with all these quests to explore kind of DLC. I'd imagine it after that to be a bunch of little things, but as long as there's post-launch support, that's kind of what I want for Fallout 4 to keep the life of the game alive. I know there's modding and stuff. I know now everyone can experience the modding, but there's nothing better than the official content from the developer because that actually expands on the universe officially.
Right.
And so, part of the issue, I guess if you want to call it that, with Bethesda games is that there's these giant gaps in between them. And at least if there was some support, whether it's a new mode, new areas, something like that, something to keep us a little busy, to keep us still invested in that world, that'd be great, at least.
Yep, I agree.
As for what I'm playing this week, my news, I'll start off with what I'm playing. I'm playing I think the only person who would be, that's cool, would be Noah, but I'm playing NHL 16 this week.
That's cool.
Yeah. I buy NHL's the only sports game I ever buy. I used to buy FIFA with Noah, but it's just
I stopped buying that as well.
Yeah, same. We just kind of said fuck this game now. Mainly because I play this sport, so I just kind of feel the need to, and it's good. I think it's a lot better for those who care than any other NHL I personally played, because all the other NHL games were very arcadey. It was very fast paced. You could put up like 9 goals if you're good.
Right.
Which is unlikely. In real life, at least. It happens once in a blue moon. And so in this game, it's really, really, really focused on like teamwork, and you got to move the puck around a lot. And if you get the shot on, sometimes it might not go in because the goalie will make like a desperation save and like come across really far. It feels like an actual game of hockey when you're playing it, especially mainly in the online mode when players are more skilled. That's when it really shines. When I played offline, I first offline game I played, I put 10 goals in. So it's like, if you play offline, it's this kind of the same thing because you're playing against the computer. That was on Superstar difficulty, which is right below the hardest, I believe. Where when you play online, it's the true game shines, in my opinion, where it's an actual hockey game, which I like, and it's full of modes and stuff. It's an annual sports game, so you're really not getting like a crazy amount of new shit, but for what it is, I enjoy it, and I'm not going to talk on it much because I know it's a sports game, but that's what I've been playing this week. It's fun. My friends play it, so it's nice to have a multiplayer game to play with a couple of friends. As for my favorite news this week, though, it was kind of along your lines, Yong, but I just want to talk about the Tokyo Game Show as a whole because a lot of new stuff that excited me came out of this, and just briefly go over it. Obviously, like I said, Persona 5, that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Danganronpa 3, I'm a giant fan of
Oh,
Danganronpa.
dude, I fucking love Danganronpa.
Holy fuck, finally! Holy fuck, finally!
Dude, I have both games on my PS Vita.
Yes.
Holy shit, it is so fucking...
I think the world just exploded. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
no, it did. I'm sorry, for those who haven't played it, like, what are you doing with your life? Go play it. I mean, seriously, this is just an amazing, like, mystery game with a lot of humor, but also, like, a lot of dark tones to it. It's like a dark comedy thing, but it's like you solve these cases and they're freaking awesome, and then there's a third game coming out. Okay, anyway.
To put it simply, if you enjoy a game where you get attached to a character and they will probably ultimately die, then you will like Danganronpa.
So if you like Game of Thrones, you'll like Danganronpa.
Yeah. Yeah, if you like an anime version of that. It's the intrigue in the game series, I've talked about this before, is that it's so different and weird that it's appealing. And that's why you should play it.
Absolutely.
So that was announced, the third one, which I didn't think they'd do, especially after the little spin-off title they did. I played that. It was okay.
Me neither, yeah.
But, I didn't think they'd do 3. So seeing 3 was a great surprise.
Oh, man, yeah.
Really great surprise, even though I did not know what was going on in that trailer. I just knew the game title. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Probably the only, on top of that, it's the only good annualized series, in my opinion. Comes out every year, and it's always stellar. It was Danganronpa 2 was my game of the year last year, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, because, 2014 sucked, but, I
Yes,
loved it.
2014 did suck for games.
Yeah.
But anyways, what else came out of Tokyo Game Show? Gravity Rush 2 came out. That was a really big surprise that they finally re-revealed that. They announced it a while ago. It's a PS4 game now, and they're remastering the first Gravity Rush from Vita to PS4 because, just kill the Vita some more, why don't you?
Oh, nice.
I don't like that, but whatever. That's just me being the one of 5 Vita owners in this planet who just love using it. What else came out? Oh, and yeah, the final thing. Kingdom Hearts 3, there was like a new little gameplay snippet for that. They showed off some new stuff on that. Nothing crazy there, but the big surprise for me that came out of Tokyo Game Show was Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they rumored 2.9 for a while, which was going to be this huge collection of one Chain of Memories, 358 over 2 days, 2 Birth by Sleep, and Recoded, and Dream Drop Distance, literally the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise, all remastered onto one disc, to get you to prepare for Kingdom Hearts 3. But it's actually something brand new, because it is Dream Drop Distance, which is the 3DS game that came out in 2012, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's that remastered, and on top of that, it's 2 brand new things, which I think is really awesome that they didn't really have to do with them already working on Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's Volume 2 of Birth by Sleep, which is, it's about Aqua. For those of you who are, giant Kingdom Hearts fans, you'll know that she's, stuck in the realm of darkness. So, essentially, even though Birth by Sleep takes place between, or before, rather, Kingdom Hearts 1, I feel it's going to somehow be a lead into Kingdom Hearts 3, because apparently it runs on Kingdom Hearts 3's engine, and it's, it's there's, a bunch of encounters with all the characters that'll be in Kingdom Hearts 3, so I feel like it's a prequel in a sense, but it comes with the other stuff in there, so it makes it worth your purchase that you're not just paying for a demo.
Yeah.
And then finally is Kingdom Hearts Key Cutscenes, which is a mobile game, and it just helps once again connect the story. So it's more so for people who are lore nerds with Kingdom Hearts, or just want more Kingdom Hearts. You have something to hold you over. It's a smart move because not everyone's into Final Fantasy 15, which is going to come out first, and so they're still giving people Kingdom Hearts things to do. I'm disappointed. I thought Final Fantasy 15 would come out this year.
I know, same. How long is that game in? It's been 9 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's been since 06.
Yeah, that's when they first announced it.
And I remember seeing that initial trailer. I'm like, because this is before I enjoyed Final Fantasy, where I thought I didn't like that tactical combat. I like it now, but I saw that and I was like, this is the Final Fantasy game I want.
Exactly.
Where you could run around and beat people up and stuff. And and they thought they canceled it and stuff, and they got re-resurrected, and it looks amazing, but they keep releasing details and trailers and gameplays on it, and I refuse to look at it because I know they're just trying to do it to hold people over, and it's gonna spoil the game, and I'm just not gonna do that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, they need to get their shit together and just get this thing out. It looks amazing.
Yeah, for real. I gotta say though, I can't complain much because I'm impressed that the game actually looks as good as it does for a game that's. I mean, I know it's been in development for so long, but you think it'd be stuck in that pit of hell for so long that it would just end up being bad, but it looks solid.
Yeah, I played the demo, and it's actually like...
Yeah, how was that? I never played episode Yusuke.
Yeah, I had to freaking pre-order the day zero. What is it?
Oh,
Type Zero or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh god,
Literally, I bought it. I got the voucher out and then I sold it. Like I just went to GameStop and I just sold it. I don't care about Type Zero or whatever. I just literally.
I bet so many people did that too.
Yeah, just pretty much everyone. So I just got the key, put that in there and downloaded the demo, and it plays really, really well. And what's cool is that they actually took the feedback from the demo that people gave to Square Enix, and they updated the demo with the new fixes and stuff. Like they complain about a bit of, like the camera or whatever. They fixed the camera for the demo so people could like play it again and then give more feedback. So they're really taking this game seriously, which is awesome.
That's awesome. I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it plays great, man. It looks like amazing. The world is like super huge and open and lush, like lots of monsters to battle. And yeah, it's not like the typical Final Fantasy where you go through a bunch of menus or whatever. You actually it's more Kingdom Heart like, with like mix that with the Final Fantasy tactical battle, and that's pretty much Final Fantasy 15. Yeah,
that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah,
that's my news though. I don't know if you thought of anything or.
I don't have any news.
All right, are you playing
anything? You guys
anything?
literally stole everything I was gonna say.
Are you playing anything different this week then, or?
I was streaming some Dirty Bomb a few days ago. Okay. That's about it, honestly.
Dirty Bomb is if you play. Okay, you want to hear?
Dirty Bomb is fun, dude.
Yeah, I like it, but if you play Halo for like an hour before you play Dirty Bomb, I promise you.
I bet you'll be amazing.
Yes, I played Halo I went on like a Halo binge like a few weeks ago during the summer, and I played it for like 2 days straight, and then I came on Dirty Bomb one day. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever felt so good about myself during a video game. Like, my ego was through the roof when it came to Dirty Bomb. I was fucking sniping people left and right. Like, I had like 40 kills with the sniper class.
Wait, I have not heard of this game, Dirty Bomb.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a free-to-play. Check it out on Steam.
It's a solid free-to-play. It's a good game to, like, hop on and just... Yeah, if you want to like, stream with someone and play like a game that everyone can have and get involved in, then that's a solid game to play.
So it's like an FPS kind of game, basically. Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's fun.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, but that's all our news, all our what we're playing, what's going on with us.
I gotta ask, Maddie, have you played the Zero Escape series at all?
No, I've been really curious about it though. I'm really hesitant because I know Danganronpa has some gameplay, even though it's a visual novel. Where like I've heard this is just like a straight visual novel, so I'm a little hesitant. But should I do it?
Yeah, you should. It's I think the Zero Escape series is like a little bit above Danganronpa in terms of storytelling and stuff. The story is absolutely amazing in it. And the third one was just announced. So you got like 2 games that you can play right now. One's, I think, for the first one, 999, that's for the DS. The second one is on the 3DS and the Vita. And then the third one's coming out on the Vita and 3DS as well. But yeah, you should definitely, like if you enjoy Danganronpa, you will absolutely love Zero Escape. And there is gameplay in there. You solve, it's like Saw, where you're like trapped in a room and you have to like solve a puzzle or whatever to get out. Okay. There's that gameplay.
All right.
And then you read a bunch and, the story develops, but then you dive back into gameplay. So actually it is a lot like Danganronpa where you do a lot of reading and then you dive into the courtroom battles.
I'm definitely going to get that because like what I read was always like, oh, it's just literally like reading a book. And like I'm not saying I don't read or anything, but I'm just saying like, sometimes you play a game for a good story, but you also want to play a game. So
sure.
I'm definitely going to give it a try.
Yeah, you'll definitely be playing. You'll be solving like puzzles. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. If you love Danganronpa, absolutely play Zero Escape.
All right, thank God you mentioned that because I've been like debating whether or not to do it. So I'm definitely going to make the jump then.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Let's move on to our fan questions. We got technically 5, but really 4 because one of them is a combined question because 2 people asked the same question. Basically, we're going to be answering some Fallout-related questions, some gaming-related questions, all that stuff. So let's dive straight into this. The first one is that combo question I mentioned. They come from @AlfieSpore and @all_Fallout, who seems to be featured on a weekly basis now because he has these really good questions. They were both asking about like Fallout companions or like characters in real life, and I really liked how they both asked that, but All Fallout had like the better idea for the question. He said, if you could dorm with a Fallout character throughout college, who would it be and why?
Any of the dogs.
Yeah.
I was gonna
go with Snuffles
actually from The Death Clan. And
Yes.
Get Goris in there. Fucking.
I'd room with Fisto, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Not really, no.
Off switch.
Not really, no. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think like all the characters that like I interact with and that like who could I actually live with and trust.
Moira.
No, I see. Like I always go to Moira for everything though when it comes to these questions. Like I would, who would you have sex with in the Fallout universe? Obviously Moira. Like who would you, befriend? Who would you marry? Moira. So I'm trying to think of someone different this time around.
Moira.
Tenpenny, Matt. Dorm with Tenpenny.
No, Mr. House. Mr. House.
Yeah, Mr. House is like a zombie though. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying. Like he's
But he got that money, man. He got that dollar.
Yeah, you could put me in a good college. Get back to me.
After the world has ended, yeah.
Yeah, well, get back to me. I'll have someone in mind. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Codsworth. I'd want Codsworth.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah,
he would help me out. He'd do my homework for me. He'd be a good buddy. And I remember Mr. Handy in Fallout 3. In I think you could get him in both Megaton and Tenpenny.
If you get what Matt's saying.
You could, but like he could produce things for you. So like he could produce coffee if I'm tired. Give me water if I'm thirsty. Give me a beer if I'm looking to party at my new college.
How old are you again? No, I'm just kidding.
Hello, sir. Would you like a beer? Absolutely.
You're still alive, Cosworth? I sound like Mr. Meeseeks from what's it called, Rick and Morty. Oh, Matt doesn't get it.
I don't.
Yeah, I love Rick.
Fuck you. Why'd you just call me out? I'm just like chuckling along. He doesn't get it.
You guys watch Rick and Morty quite a lot then, yeah?
I do watch quite a bit as well.
It's great, man. I feel like it's one of those shows that gets you into the kind of wacky, dark humor.
Exactly. It's one of those shows that was pumped out from Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, but is actually like good, not just weird.
It's the Adventure Time for adults.
Basically. That's fantastic. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, but it's a great show. I would check that out. If you like Fallout and you like that kind of weird science, crazy, make jokes about people dying and stuff, it's one of those shows you gotta watch.
Speaking of late night cartoons, I don't know what was going through my mind where I was just in this trance because I was almost stunned at how stupid this television was. But I was watching this show at like 3 a.m. and I forgot what it was called. It was like something, and then it had like a year after it. And literally this full-length TV show episode of like a half hour was this underwater civilization just going to shit. But all it was like a frozen image, and like you'd see like the rooms light up with people who were talking and stuff, and it was literally like things just going downhill much.
What the fuck are you talking
I don't
about?
know what the show was called, but it was so bad, and it was like 3 a.m. and I watched this whole thing, and I was hoping like as I was going along, someone would be like, "Oh, it's this show," because you guys were just talking about late night cartoons.
Yeah.
I've never heard or.
Wait a minute.
It's Finding Nemo.
No, it's literally like almost at first I thought it was gonna be like, because it goes on for 5 minutes where like it's almost like a Family Guy skit where it's just so random and stupid, but it's literally a full length cartoon episode of this stupidity.
All right.
So it's a cartoon.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
It's not Fish Center Live that they do on Adult Swim.
I don't know. Let's move on to the next question.
No, because now we're doing research here. I think it started with like an A or something like that, and it had like a year afterwards. I'm gonna actually.
Time to do some research.
Yeah, I'm opening up my laptop. Real
There's an Adult Swim, you said?
Yes, I believe. Yeah, it had to be because it was like 3 a.m.
I think it's
well, that
Fish
doesn't
Center, man.
mean it. Okay.
Back off, man. Give me some space.
Jeez, give us
Come on,
some
man.
Wait. Is it C-Lab 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
C-Lab.
Right. C-Lab 2021. All right.
Yeah. What? It was so ridiculous.
That looks great, man. Look at it. It looks awesome.
It's an American animation with shown blah blah. I'm trying to read like a synopsis.
It's
Regan.
an actual cartoon because at the end there was actually like moving people talking and stuff, but like this whole 20 to 30 minute segment was just a still image of them like yelling and stuff.
I don't even know, Matt.
Anyways,
It says right here, reception. January 2009, IGN listed C-Lab 2021 as the 79th best in the top 100 animated TV series.
Oh my god.
2013, IGN placed C-Lab 2021 as number 22 on their list of top 25 animated series for adults.
No, I look stupid now.
I mean, you can't really. I don't know if you can trust their judgment on
Might
this.
be art.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. It sounds stupid, but who am I to judge?
It's stupid fun. Regardless. So does anyone have any more characters they want to dorm with, or shall we
Nope.
move on?
Dog meat,
Dog meat.
German Shepherd.
I
Dog
said
meat.
that.
Yeah, I that was a great idea. I gotta steal it.
I know.
Our next question is an interesting one. This one will get us thinking a little bit here. Whitefire525 says, if you could add an item to the base game of Fallout 4, what would it be? So, who knows? It'll probably be in the game, but out of everything we've seen, what would we like to add?
I don't know.
Questions require such time.
Molotov. Oh no, Molotovs will be in the game.
I haven't seen Molotov yet.
If no Molotovs,
There
I'm
is
gonna
a
say
mod
Molotovs.
that added Molotovs, but
Okay, well, I'm gonna say base game. I'm gonna say Molotovs would be kind of cool to see.
Just a sword, a samurai sword or something.
Samurai sword would be cool.
yeah, bring something from Elder Scrolls over, like an Elder Scrolls crosses Fallout. What the fuck is this kind of Easter egg?
That'd be great.
Hold on one sec, guys.
I'm trying to think of a good one. I mean, I want to go for a skateboard or something like that, like something you could put like a bomb on.
A skateboard.
Rail in, like I'm thinking of Dead
Rocket
Rising.
skates.
What can you make? What can you make of something good? Something.
I'd make like a jump pack so that I could leap buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go that crazy with it and just add something that's entirely lore breaking and stupid and GTA-esque and just put that in there. I want a jump pack.
So you've got a vertibird, but you still want the jump pack.
Yeah, so I'm like sprinting around and then you just leap a building and like, some raider who thinks he's safe up there, like sniping, you come up there and he's like, oh shit, and you just blow his head off with like a VATS bloody mess. Great.
Power armor.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's right. I was thinking of
Like-
the power armor and you have a jetpack there, but I was like, what about when you're on ground? Like, I'd love to have a jump pack.
Yeah, jump boots, like moon shoes. That's what I want. I want
Shoes.
moon shoes.
Oh man, this is a good idea.
I don't know. First, sweet Nike Airs.
The third, wait, did you say Nikes? Oh my god. Check out my sweet kicks, bro.
Yeah. Walking in the wasteland, looking
Brian
good.
Delaney actually has that line in the game. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm back.
No, what would you? Oh wait, you already answered the question.
Yeah, I said
Fuck
Molotovs.
off. Our third question comes from Fallout Please. He asks, this is a really good question. This can actually get a discussion going here. What do you think Fallout 4's lifetime will be, and when it launches, will this be the end of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas?
No. For the second part. Because Fallout 3 still has a lifespan. It still has mods being made for it, so it's,
But the only reason it has support is because Fallout 4 is not out yet.
Well, but, okay. Okay.
Damn.
Fair point.
Shut down.
Why do you have to do this in front of my friends? No, I don't know. I imagine, but in terms of the lifespan, I imagine the lifespan will be fucking long. Maybe, I mean, Skyrim's still pretty popular. People are making mods and stuff like that for Skyrim. So I imagine, a similar lifespan of quite a few years.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: people are still playing Fallout 1. People are going back and playing all these games. I think there'll definitely be people that'll probably think that Fallout 4 was terrible. I miss Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and they'll go back, and that's all right for them.
That's so god awfully stupid that I feel like someone will do that, and it just bothers me. I don't care how bad Fallout 4 could end up being somehow. Why would you go back to a game that's like technologically inferior in so many ways and mechanically inferior in so many ways? It just, on the outside looking at it, just doesn't make sense.
You're inferior.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Shots fired, bang bang. No, I'm just kidding.
In my opinion, as terms for the lifetime, I think it'll last, just as long as Skyrim. Where I feel like since they're two separate things, people who are only Elder Scrolls fans but don't like Fallout, and vice versa. So I think Fallout 4 will have quite a lifeline because of the mod support, obviously, and the DLC support. Hopefully that's a long-term thing where I feel it will go on for a while because, as Noah stated, they're still making big mods for Skyrim. I think are they still doing Skywind or whatever?
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah,
but
I know you're a part of that, right?
Yeah, I'm doing some of the voices for that, and it's a massive project. I mean, I thought the voices were going to be done like last year, but they were supposed to be done last year, but they kept pushing it back because that's just how massive this project is. But yes, it is still going on, and I don't know when it's going to be done. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, but once it launches, it's going to be insane.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to get into it because the original Morrowind, I can't. I've tried so many times, and it's just, even with the overhaul and stuff, I just, there's something about it, and I love Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's the combat where, you're like literally right in front of the dude, and you slash your sword, and it'll miss because the dice rolled the wrong way. Like, that's bullshit. I mean, he's right there. I mean, I shoved the fucking sword up his ass. It should be in his ass. That's
what I'm saying. It did make sense to me. I thought my game was broken at one point. And when I was a kid, when I first bought this game, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm hitting him. Like, I was too stupid to comprehend.
Yeah, no, I literally cornered an enemy, like, to the wall, and I just kept swinging, and I would hit him maybe once and deal, like, 1 damage. And that was that, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can play this. It just makes no sense.
That's why Skywind really interests me, because it's literally Skyrim's engine but Morrowind, so it's gonna be great. And I'm
good
really
combat with like the lush and really weird world of Morrowind. It's gonna be great.
Are they voice acting like literally every single line for that? Because in Morrowind it was a lot of text and sometimes dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are voicing like every single line. They might be like cutting out some of the redundancy because that game had a lot of like redundant dialogue, but for the most part, like all the dialogue that they are going to keep, all of that is going to be voiced.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm doing like a lot of the Imperial voices.
I remember. Yeah.
And so that should be fun. But yeah, no, it's definitely a project you want to like keep your eyes on. It looks great so far.
Mm-hmm. As for when, back to the conversation we were having earlier, as for when Fallout 3 New Vegas will end, I mean, it seems like the only reason people are working on these games and that there was such a resurgence in the life of these games is that, I feel it's because so many people wanted Fallout 4 that now that we finally are about to have it, I feel like, for example...
It's kind of sparking everything.
Yeah, but you look at, like, Project Lone Star, that was like our first special guest, we had the project lead for that on, and they were going to release this big mod for New Vegas that takes place in Texas and stuff. And instead... they decided to hold off and release it for Fallout 4 when the modding kit drops for that, and really change things up there because they realize that no one's going to be playing New Vegas mods come Fallout 4, or not as many as they'd like, and they're also in their perspective they're ahead of the game now. They have a full mod concepted, written out with a story, and they really just have to build it, which obviously isn't easy, but with a much easier modding kit, which will be an updated version of Skyrim's. I think they'll be able to get the job done, which is another reason why I don't think a lot of people will be working on Fallout 3 New Vegas, is because it's just so buggy. And this is coming from someone who just last night on my stream, like I literally was live streaming. My game broke. I had like an ambient sound bug that made a loud, constant ticking noise, and literally like 400 people sat there and watched me and my friend Nissan.
I tuned in for like 10 minutes, saw you do nothing. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we were literally fixing this game, and people were staying and watching because it's so interesting how these games break and watching them get fixed because it's always something.
Was it modded, your game?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've tried so many fixes. We still have a couple of fixes, but right now it's just mute the music audio and just play, and you're okay. Okay. But so I feel like it'll be the end of Fallout 3 New Vegas. They had a good life, but you know what? The bugs are enough. Let's move on to Fallout 4, the game that we all really wanted.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fallout 4's lifespan is pretty much going to be as long as it takes to release Fallout 5 or whatever. In terms of support,
don't even say 5.
It's already starting. Nope. Fallout 5 rumors go. But in terms of, I guess, how long Bethesda is going to support it, I'd say like 2.5 years to 3 years would be a good bet. And then from there, I think they're just going to leave it up to the community to make the mods and all that stuff. Because I think that's around the same time that it took for Bethesda to support Skyrim. It was like 2.5 to 3. What's his or her name?
Sorry, I muted my mic. It's Duke. He's for some reason someone's ringing my doorbell at 8 at night. Not relatively creepy or anything, but yeah.
All right. Well,
That's cool.
let us know how that goes. If you need,
Matt was stabbed.
we'll call 911 for you if we hear you scream. So we'll be here. Okay.
Wait, is he going to answer?
Yeah, I guess he is. He's not responding, so I guess
there's no one else at his fucking house. There's always like 70 people at his house now. The one time, Matt.
Got to pad it in with something else. Do you guys think there'll be spin-offs for it? Because I think that'll greatly increase its lifespan, actually.
Do I think the what?
Spin-offs for Fallout 4, like New Vegas.
It'll be interesting. I think it'll be cool.
I could imagine, and I'm just going to say this now, but I could imagine there would be 2.
Yeah.
I could imagine that they've worked hard enough on this engine that they could warrant 2 spin-offs.
Yeah.
Spin-offs as in like expansions, you mean? Like or
so
DLC?
Like Fallout 3 and then it was Fallout New Vegas and they worked off the same engine.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
well, I think 4 is a like modified version of Skyrim's engine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an upgraded, like kind of built upon to the point.
I feel like they're that's an interesting. Maybe was it Obsidian who did New Vegas?
Yeah, Obsidian did New Vegas.
They showed interest in like making a New Vegas 2 or whatever. So hell, maybe that'd be great. Like seeing well, I don't know if they'd actually pick the same location if they were to make.
I would hope not.
that would be lame. But they did a good job with New Vegas. I thought they actually improved a lot upon like Fallout 3 in various respects, and I liked what they did with it. It was a little different, but I liked it.
Yeah.
So I would hope, for a spin-off and see where that goes. But
it'll probably extend it a fair bit, I would imagine, because right now they're still polishing off the game. And I'd imagine that they would like to polish it off for another year if they could, but I'm sure they need to, at least make money somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
They're stopping now, but I could imagine them putting at least 1, maybe 2 spin-off games out,
Yeah, I could see that. Probably a modified engine of it, but yeah, I could see it.
All right, Matty's been away for a while. Is he okay?
I don't know. I cannot confirm he's still alive.
Yeah, if he's still alive.
This just in. Looks like Matt is dead.
Okay, well.
Sorry about that.
Live on. Well, it's not.
All right.
I'll be taking his channel over.
Mr. Noah Plays.
Mr. Noah Plays, exactly. I will be switching all the content to exclusive Nintendo, Game Boy content only.
Game Boy.
Yep.
Okay.
Only Tetris.
What could possibly go wrong with that?
Yep. We're gonna do a lot of theories and hypothetical
about
stuff about Tetris. Yep.
Could they add new shapes to the
Exactly.
Sorry.
Will they have something that is not made of 4 blocks?
So, quick story. I literally, right as I muted my mic to go, I because the person like rang the shit out of my doorbell, and like I walk to my window and I look out and I just see some really fucking sketchy dude walk down my steps around to the darker side of my house to go to my backyard. So I think it's okay, but regardless, I may or may not be home alone right now. I'm okay.
Wait, did you answer the person at the door? Okay.
No.
He might have been the mysterious stranger.
Yeah.
Or a home invasion kind of situation. But no. Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's fine. I'm all right.
All right, last question, Maddie.
Last question comes from Ratchet570. And this is not a Fallout question. They ask, what's our thoughts on the rise of the cinematic story-driven games as of recently, such as Life is Strange and The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, all that stuff?
Yeah,
I think they're cool.
Yeah, it's good that they're doing it. I think that there's an important line to establish, though, between games like The Walking Dead, Telltale series, and all the Telltale games, actually, and games like Order 1886, where it just becomes a movie with buttons and not so much a game anymore. And I would have loved to have seen Order 1886 as a film, That would have been great. But they didn't. They decided to sell it as a £40 game. So that's my thoughts on that. But
yeah, I really, really like the idea that you can make choices and influence these stories rather than like you're like a participant of it rather than someone just looking through a window into this other world. And both have their advantages. Some people just want to relax and let the story play out, but others would be like they like the idea of being able to influence this world. And in that sense, I think like Walking Dead, like the game has a lot of like dialogue options and stuff you can choose from, and like it affects the story. I think I haven't played through the whole thing, but I watched some gameplay of it. That's what it looked like. And you know, stuff like Danganronpa, you know, that's like a very story-driven game, but it has its interactive elements, and so it's really cool to be a part of that, just be a participant of it, rather than just watching it happen. So, I love stuff like visual novels, like, you know, like I play Ace Attorney. I don't know if you guys know about that. Phoenix Wright. You're a lawyer, and it's freaking awesome. It's a lot like Danganronpa, where like you're in a courtroom and incriminate people, exactly. And the stories are great, and you get to be a part of that. So that's, I think, the main sort of appeal. But at the same time, I also like just sitting on a couch doing nothing, just watching a show and let it play out. So but it's a good like alternative, and
I'm a believer that you got to be in the mood for those type of games, and if you are, you know, as long as it still is a game, then it's awesome. You know, I love Life is Strange. That game has blown my socks off every episode, especially 3 and 4. I don't want to spoil anything, but those episodes are crazy. It's got a lot to live up to in this final episode, and it's one of the best surprises this year, honestly. And it's because it has that, you know, that narrative, story-driven stuff. You know, it's all about the story, but it kind of flips it on its head where, you know, Telltale's kind of just like, you know, you go through a cutscene, make a choice. Go through a cutscene, make a choice.
That's true.
And it's kind of that over and over, where, like, in this game, you can see how different choices play out, rewind time, you know, mess with things, but then comes a certain point where your choice is permanent. You can't, like, mess with time. Sometimes your time powers mess up. So it's really interesting. It's a really good game. Obviously, games like Danganronpa that you can, you know, you're there for the ride, and, you know, you make these choices that influence the story are absolutely awesome. So as long as it remains a game, that's all I care about, really. You know, I love the path it's going, but I felt that Telltale has begun to wear out their welcome a little bit.
Sure.
In my honest opinion, you know, I love their stuff, but it got a little ridiculous. You know, you had the Walking Dead, and then they do the Wolf Among Us, which is, in my opinion, better. And I was like, oh wow, awesome. You know, this is great. You know, a second series for them to alternate with. Then after that, they do this, you know, Game of Thrones. You're like, this isn't that good. And then, you know, they do Minecraft story mode. We're like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, that is a little. Yeah, that's when you.
Don't get me started on that.
And so, you know, it's like they're doing so much. And it's like, okay, you know, you're a business. You need to produce new things. But there's so many other combinations. Like, who would want to see, okay, I'm going to spit you guys a great idea, and you're going to definitely agree with how great this idea is. I know you will. Telltale should do a Scooby-Doo game.
That would be actually really awesome. Wow.
Right?
I didn't expect you to say that, but that is genuinely
Their graphic style fits it. The game style fits it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow,
should just make their own games, because I
That's
feel like
true.
they're actually pretty good storytellers, actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And you can
acquiring
they
these.
can use the universe of another story, of another like thing, you know, like they did with The Walking Dead, and still make something original in their own, you know. And
Yeah, I think they're kind of, they've just taken on, in my opinion, too much.
I can see that. I can respect that.
You know, I just thought that, you know, the Wolf Among Us, you know, it was just, you could tell it was almost like you could tell there was more passion involved.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the whole kind of industry, like, well, not the whole industry, that whole genre is, you know, it's a really varied genre. Actually, there's a lot of different visual styles, and I think that's the good thing about it, that you're always almost guaranteed a good story, which is really cool. You know, that you can guarantee. Like, I mean, Until Dawn, I was really impressed by it.
Yeah,
It's like,
so fucking good.
It turned out really good, I wasn't even bothered. You know, it kind of almost ignored all the cliches of, like, you know, a young American teen group go up to a woods and someone dies. You know, I didn't even care. It was
more than that at the end. You know, it was. I won't spoil it, but oh my god, that game, dude! Like, you know, like I totally, you know, I could understand all the cliches, but it's because it goes beyond those cliches, and at some points embraces them to a point where it feels different. Fuck, man, that game. It's one of my top 3 this year. It's so good.
Definitely.
Because you didn't expect it to be so good. I literally bought it on a whim. I'm like, you know, I was curious about this game when I saw it at E3 and, like, all these shows, and it's finally out, and I saw it, you know, people enjoy it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to buy it. And I played it on stream, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
this is Until Dawn we're talking about? Okay, I've not played that game yet.
Everyone says I look like Chris from Until Dawn.
You do.
Literally, I get 3 tweets like on a day about it.
I apologize. I'm the one who sparked that.
No. I know it was you, Matt. Trust me.
The damage is
I've
done.
already been planning what I'm gonna get you back. Don't worry about it though.
Yeah, no, it's an effort recommendation. Get yourself alone a spooky night and play that.
PS4. Okay.
It's got some cheap jump scares, but overall, it's if you can handle a jump scare here and there, it's a well worth experience.
Yeah.
And then there is Life is Strange. I've heard a lot of great things about that.
Yeah.
I haven't had the chance to
Don't
play
even listen to critic reviews. I haven't really heard anything good from like IGN and all of them, but like
really?
from like the general consumer who just like buys this game and plays it. Like I don't know if my opinion matters, but it's such a good game because like I bought it because I knew the game mechanic was too good to screw up, and they've done it right. Being able to reverse time in these in these like story choice games, and it really is not afraid to like go leaps and bounds beyond your expectations with some of the choices that are in these stories, and it's really cool.
All right, I'll definitely look into that.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that wraps up all our fan questions. In fact, the entire podcast. Yeah. I think we might be under 2 hours. We're trying to get to the point where,
yeah.
Well, like the call is like 2 hours and 10 minutes, but that's not the full podcast.
No, I know. I just figured
I
that.
think
we're at like 150.
Yeah, we're gradually edging our way down to not be as long as most movies. A lot of people like when we upload a 3-hour podcast, we go for like, all right, it's great, it's long, but there's a lot of things I have to do today, Matt.
I have a life, man.
Yeah.
I have things to do. I can't listen to a 3-hour cast.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's literally, I start uploading it, and then like, I'm like, what's taking so long because it's processing? I'm like, right, this is a 3-hour video. Okay, so this is hurting me too. Yeah. But anyways, Marcus, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
A good time.
Right.
And everything you guys need to know about them will be linked down below. Their Twitters, follow them. Their YouTubes, please check them out. I've been a follower of Yong for ages now, since Survivor 2299, and Marcus does some of the most underrated animation work I've ever seen for a Fallout franchise, so please check them both out. Awesome people. Awesome channels. And yeah, that should wrap up this podcast. So what we like to do, usually Lone is here to put people on the spot. Now I know what he feels like. I feel like an asshole. We like to put our guests on the spot to do a little outro.
If they just watched the cast, they'd know, but they never do. They never do.
Well, if they're 3 hour long, I can't stay all the way to the end,
You say it's over.
It's a ploy. It's a ploy. I think Marcus is the only one who's aware of it. So if Yong and Marcus would like to collaborate here on a little outro, just off the cuff by all means, but we're going to go ahead and be quiet now. You guys can take it away.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, what are we doing? Like what?
Outro, damn it.
Just a regular
outro, damn it.
Okay.
Anything you can come up with. All right, now I'm quiet again.
Wait, I'm not sure. Did Senpai see me? Is Senpai proud? Did Senpai see me?